All right, let's do it. We're going to get started, guys. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 21. You excited?
Oh my goodness, 21.
We're on a roll now. We're on a roll. It's fun. Today in the podcast, we are going to share some of the quotes that, just a couple quotes that meant a lot to me and Andrew, some personal quotes. And we're going to talk about these quotes, how it shaped our, the way we see things, business, family life, personal life.
And some of them cut us deep.
Yeah. Just a big impact on quotes, and we're just going to discuss them a little bit. That's going to be a cool new thing that we're gonna do today, and then also we're just going to quickly touch on a couple updates before we get into that. So, Andrew, you want to take us away with a couple updates before we get into these quotes?
Yeah, definitely. This is cool because we haven't done a podcast with just you and me, I think, in 2 months.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah,
the last few guests and the last few ones we've done have been amazing. But it's awesome to always come back together, me and you. I enjoy these ones a lot too.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna call this series where it's me and you. Meet me at the table.
Meet me at the table.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I like that.
So yeah, a couple updates. We're now in the summer, and that's great. It's a new season because for resilience in the summer, things usually always business-wise present a challenge to you and me as entrepreneurs because it's not that things slow down, but people start to exercise more outside. They're doing more sports outside, which is great. And we encourage that.
Yeah.
But the gym can get a little bit less busy in the summer. So it's a great opportunity to focus on some things that are less hands-on in the gym and more kind of planning for the next season in September. So it's cool for that. What's that been looking like for you?
Yeah, we've taken on a couple projects, but one of the cool things is since we built the office, which we're in right now, which is cool to do the podcast in, it's been a good opportunity for me and you to connect a lot more and discuss some of these projects that we want to take on. Also, it's been amazing to just come to a vision. In the office, we've been like brainstorming a lot and thinking a lot about the vision and where we want to take the business and what we want to stand on. And since developing that, I've seen it's been really, really beneficial for resilience, for the coaches, for us to just have a vision that we're all going towards. And we've been meeting with the coaches and talking about the vision, which has been really powerful for all, I think. That's been really, really, really cool for me.
Is it fair to say that it's been game-changing?
Game changer, man.
Even since the first day.
Game changer.
Really sharing that with our team and, just putting it out there. Have things really changed?
I think so, man. For me as one of the co-owners and one of the leaders, I think it's been like really, really helpful for me to have a vision. I just feel like it makes my job as a leader a lot more easier and a lot more clear because everything revolves around that vision. Everything from coaching to the way we interact with clients, from the way we prep for class, it all comes back to the vision, right? Yeah. And that's just been helpful for me to try to lead the team and put expectations on myself of like what I expect from myself as well.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same. I think there's so many decisions that we're making on a daily basis. Doing resilience, like being an entrepreneur, there's daily decisions, and if the decision doesn't line up with the vision, it's a no.
Yeah.
So I think it's simplified that sort of decision-making process.
Yeah.
Is this in line with where we want to go? No. Okay, move on. Yes, let's explore it.
Yeah.
Or, let's dive into it a little bit deeper. So simplifying things is always a win.
Yeah, simplifying decisions, and it just makes decision-making a lot easier.
Yeah, simplifying things and understanding where we want to go. It's just a tighter direction. It's more force and momentum behind it. So it's been really cool. And I think one other thing I want to touch on about the vision and the mission is we're unified in it. And I love that. It's been great 10 years doing things together. And for the most part, I think we've always been unified. And if we're not, we work it out.
Yeah.
But with this mission, we're extremely on the same page, which I love the saying, one can catch 1,000, but two can catch 10,000. So there's compound interest and there's power behind being unified together in a mission. Yeah. And I think this has helped that a lot.
And just we won't go on to this too long, but like just dissecting the vision a little bit more and how we're going to do that has been really helpful for, I think, understanding and stuff like that. And we talked about it a little bit, but with the people we hire, we always believe that they hold those core values to the root. But just having a way to explain it to them a little bit better has been really beneficial. And explaining how we're going to accomplish the vision has been awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. So that's exciting.
Shout out to the vision.
That could be a whole podcast, so we could go down that road. But it's been great.
Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy on that because we do have some quotes we want to go over and just discuss and just have an open conversation here. Yeah. Why don't you? Maybe I'll start. And I'll explain my one first. So my one comes from.
Well, let's provide a little bit of context a little bit first about why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more because when we were in high school, we used to watch a guy named Plitt a lot, both of us. This was before, YouTube inspiration and fitness was really, really popular. I don't even know if YouTube was around then.
No, it was. That's how I discovered
I know
Plitt.
Plitt had his own sort of platform where you could be a member, and he was this awesome fitness guy who he did movies and he did fitness competitions. I think he was an ex-Marine, and he dropped so many amazing quotes that still resonate with me today as like a 18-year-old guy.
Yeah.
And still, so guys like these guys on the wall, Kobe and LeBron and Jordan, they all have their own quotes that have impacted a lot of people. So there's a few quotes for us that have shaped us, especially in the business.
Yeah.
And being athletes in our younger years too. So we want to share those with the viewer to hopefully inspire, and hopefully maybe one of the quotes will really stick with someone listening to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to touch on the context a little more, Plitt was like, I think one of the first YouTube inspirational guys. He was huge on YouTube at the very beginning. We're talking like 15, 16 years ago. And he had a mission to inspire other people. So why don't you read the quote? This is my quote that I gave, and then I can talk about it a little bit more.
Ironically, it's Plitt. So your first quote is, so Josh gave me 2 or 3 of his quotes, and I gave him mine. So we're just going to read each other's. And this is by Greg Plitt, and it says, "The difference between a winner and a loser, they both failed, but the winner gets back up and does it again and again until it goes his way."
Boom. Boom. So I watched, when I was growing up and working out, this was probably university, high school, I used to listen to so much Greg Plitt, and that would be like my pre-workout. I'd have a pre-workout, watch some videos, get hyped up, and then go to the gym, right? And like I said, he was like one of the first guys that really inspired people through the gym, but really what he wanted to do was inspire people in life. Mm-hmm. And he just used fitness as a vehicle. And I always saw like resilience like that. We want to inspire other people. We want people to push each other. That's why we have this motto, iron sharpens iron, right? Mm-hmm. And we use fitness as a vehicle to do that. It's very similar, right? So I love
that.
Yeah, you hear this all the time. Anyone that does anything that's hard and they're successful, it's never up, 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 up. There's always failures along the way. And that's what that quote means. It's the difference between a winner and a loser is someone that keeps going at it. And I keep talking about this, and I keep every day. I'm like a broken record with you. I'm talking about this founders podcast I've been listening. It's all about founders and all of them. Well, not all of them, but like a lot of the host keeps referring to this determination aspect of entrepreneurs, and he says that it's not intelligence that determines your success. It's a lot of times it's determination. I remember he was talking about this venture capitalist, I forget his name, and he's discussing if he should invest in a company or not. And really what he wants to know is their determination. So that just speaks very, like, to me, because I know that, determination is what sets you apart. And it requires self-belief. And that's what he was all about, believing in yourself. There's going to be people that say, naysayers along the way that are going to come and say it's not possible or you can't do that. But he was all about ignoring those people, believing in yourself, determination. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that quote just really resonates with me for that. for that
Amazing.
reason.
When it comes to resilience, in the last 2 years, I'm going to ask you a question. The last 2 years specifically, because the last 2 years have been obviously very interesting.
Yeah.
How does that quote hold sort of a new weight for you?
Yeah, man. I've seen it in not even in the 2 years, but in the 10 years. Like, there's been so many things that we have tried and we have failed at, and there's different things that we've done or different ideas we've had.
Yeah.
That haven't worked out. And, sometimes you're so gung-ho about this idea. This is the game changer idea, and it doesn't work out. But it's just that determination, and it's that faith that it's going to work out. For me, a big pivotal point or a crossroads was like coming to Durham and taking that risk, because it was a lot of risk, right? You were taking a big investment into getting a place, the renovations, and you don't really know anything. You don't know how it's going to work out. If there's going to be one person, two people that sign up, you have no idea. But you just believe in you, and I think it's that belief inside that just resonates in you. And then also, like, it goes twofold. It's experience and belief. Experience kind of reinforces the belief. The more you do it, the more confidence it brings. So, we had 8 years of like providing workouts for people and people enjoying them and people saying good things. And obviously we made mistakes, but that also reinforces that belief that we have something here and we have something good. We've got a product here. We can do this, right? And then then it's the belief too. You gotta have that belief. It comes from that faith inside that you just and what's interesting with belief and faith is not everyone can see what you see. I'm realizing that, every single person that has a vision, it starts in the head, and you talking to a friend, they may not see what you see. You can't expect them to, especially when you're in it like for a long time, I try not to have too many conversations with too many people about what I want to do, because I know they're not going to see it the way I see it, because I'm here every single day.
Right.
And even for me and you, we may have an idea, and I don't see what you see and you don't see what I see, but we're in the trenches 10 years. So how can you expect someone else to see it? It requires a lot of, self-belief.
I think you articulated that really well.
Thanks, bro.
I'm very engaged with what you're saying, and it resonates with me, everything you're saying. And I like what you said, how it's two-parted. It's believing and having that faith, but then it's also experience. Experience kind of puts fuel on the fire.
100%.
But I know it's also important not to become overconfident, because it can backfire. Because you can be so, like you mentioned, you can be so sure that this idea is the breakthrough idea, or this initiative is and then it's like it doesn't work out. So it's really in between. It's kind of, do you have the belief and the faith for this particular decision or whatever? And then I've experienced this before. I have some sort of experience, and but at the same time not being overconfident.
But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I heard a quote, and it's funny you said that. Dreams are usually destroyed by what? Overconfidence or underconfidence?
Underconfidence.
Yeah. I think that's so. When I heard that, I was like, okay, yeah. Yes, you can be overconfident, but usually it's a war inside of you.
Yeah.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
There's fears.
Yeah.
And then you talk to people, and some people can kind of tell you it's not going to happen. You don't want to feed that, right?
For sure.
So I definitely think that's why it's always good to inspire others.
Yeah.
And because everyone's dealing with that battle inside when they're trying to accomplish something great. It's never easy.
Yeah.
And I heard that, and I'm like, that is so true. Most dreams are destroyed by underconfidence, like faith that it won't, or belief that it won't work out. But it's a good point. You can't be too overconfident.
Well, and you gotta be. You're naive if you think that it's all up to you.
Yeah.
And that might be countercultural to hear, but it's like there's other circumstances and things that play a role in something working out.
100%.
For the vision. I have a lot of vision in me, this, and it's like I understand and believe wholeheartedly that it's not all up to me. I know that there's a lot that I can do and bring to the table and try really hard and work my butt off.
Yeah.
and show up every day, and that's all absolutely essential.
Yeah.
But there's factors. There's the people around me. There's my faith. There's God. There's open doors. There's closed doors. There's the finances. There's taking risks. There's
spouse.
There's a spouse, family. And it's all of those things that play a role in the vision. And you cannot manipulate or make sure that all of those things are perfect.
No.
You just can't. And that'll drive you insane. So it's trusting one day at a time.
One day at a time, bro.
It's good. Great quote, man. Great
what
quote.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you provide a little context for your quote, and I can read it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my second quote first, which is, it's about vision. And it's a cool quote. I never even knew who this person was, and I still don't, but it's about understanding that people move with passion and excitement when there's a motivation, when there's really something that drives them. And just giving people tasks or just giving them simple things isn't the way to lead a team. Mm-hmm. You got to find out who these people are. Mm-hmm. What is it that really drives them? How can I support them? How can I help lead them? By serving them and getting to know them. And I think this quote really has impacted me in my journey as a leader and an entrepreneur.
I've never heard this quote, so I'm going to read it for the first time. If you want to, is the ship one, right?
Yeah.
If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless amnesty of the sea. Mm-hmm. Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Not a strong reader.
Why don't you read it one more time?
Okay. And with confidence that that's the right word. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless amnesty of the sea.
Okay, so if you're going to build a boat, there's a purpose for building the boat. You want to be on the sea.
Yeah.
And there's somewhere you're going, and there's a great adventure ahead of you. For example, you need to build the boat from scratch. So there's going to be different departments that need to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to build a boat by myself, but there might be 50 other people that help me build the boat.
Yeah.
So it's important that all 50 people know, why are we building this boat? Mm-hmm. And then where are we going? Mm-hmm. Because that's going to be the motivation and excitement and fuel that gets them moving in their particular task.
Yeah.
From there, we can lead accordingly and delegate to people's strengths and weaknesses and understand that's how the boat is made the best. So
what you're saying is get them involved in the event, get them excited about the adventure that lies ahead and not just the specific task.
Exactly, and I'm going there in a second. Don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them to tasks and work. Okay, so we know we need wood. We know we need to put it together. We know we need to plan accordingly. We know we need to construct this boat. But don't just focus on those particular tasks. Yeah. Keep reminding them of where we're going. Keep reminding them that we're going on the sea. We're going this place. And that's going to get them excited and get yourself excited to actually go into the forest and chop down wood.
Amen.
And we were just talking about this, like, this is the journey of entrepreneurialism. It's like, you have to keep showing up every day. Yeah. If there's that you can control that.
Yeah.
And it's the little things each day that compound to something greater. And you never know what's going to happen on a particular day. A door might come wide open and you're like, wow, this came out of nowhere. Or you might fall into some challenges and stuff. But people aren't motivated by collecting wood. Mm-hmm. They're motivated by the sea. They're motivated by the vision. They're motivated by going somewhere. They're motivated by, I'm here now, but with this team, I can be here. Yeah. So it's consistently reminding people, consistently speaking it like we are on the podcast. This is where we're going. This is where we want to go. It may not be a perfect journey, but we're going here.
And do you feel that's been improved through the vision and
absolutely? Yeah, absolutely. I think my greatest downfall, or one of my biggest mistakes I've made as an entrepreneur and a leader was, and I would say was because it's more past tense, is it's always been here and here. Yeah. And I know what we can do and where we're going. But did the people around me know what I'm thinking? Mm. And they don't always have to know every thought. But it's important for me to share that so that they understand this is where we're going. This is where we want to go. And I think we've done just a really great job recently of understanding that.
I think so
and
too.
making some changes.
I think it's been, as you said, it's a game. That's been a game changer. Gives them the fuel as to why, right? They need to know the why they're doing something,
Absolutely. And then helping them understand that this is a pivotal role in building the ship.
Yeah.
Without this, it's not going to happen. This is why I think football is the greatest sport in the world. It's because you have 11 guys in the field in the NFL, 12 in the CFL. But each one of those guys play such an important role on the football field. And if one guy doesn't do their job 99% of the time, the entire play is going to fail.
Yeah.
So all 11 guys or all 12 guys have to do their job.
Yeah.
For the greater good of actually scoring the touchdown per se.
Yeah.
So it's the same with a vision. Like, we all have to work together to go this place. But if the people on the field don't know that this is the play we're running, how are we supposed to run the play? So it's casting that vision over and over.
Very true.
Love it.
Where'd you hear this?
When I was playing football a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I used to really think about it because I played quarterback, and I understood this challenge of, there's 11 guys in front of me, and we all have to work together. So constantly talking to my teammates about pivotal moments in games and stuff. So I refer to this quote a lot for inspiration.
Nice. I like that quote.
Yeah.
Touches home with what we're kind of been doing recently.
Yeah,
and
totally.
all the time.
And one more thing. Sometimes collecting wood is not a glamorous job.
No.
Or,
sometimes you gotta do what you don't want to do. That's part of life, right?
And I think a part of leadership, being a great leader, is not being afraid to still do that 10 years in, and being okay with some of the tasks that last night we were here till 9:30, throwing out some pretty dirty toilet paper. We're emptying the garbage and honestly cleaning up some pretty nasty stuff. And that's okay. We're here for it, man.
Part of the job.
We're here for it, yeah.
Okay, so my next thing it's not really a quote. It's actually something I watched recently on TV. So I started watching Power Moves by Shaq. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary about him rebuilding Reebok. It's very, very interesting, actually. Highly recommend. So Shaq, I didn't even know this till I started watching it, just became the president of Reebok. Back in the day, Shaq was a big Reebok athlete. And I think he recently purchased it, or he has some investment into it.
I was wondering where Reebok's been for the last 5 years.
Yeah, they kind of, like, back when Shaq was around, like, it was like Nike and Reebok was like number 2, right? They had Allen Iverson and Shaq. And it was a big time player in the basketball scene. So he's very motivated to get Reebok back on the up and up, right? So he's now the president of Reebok. He's the leader. And I was watching a show, and that's the context. He's the leader now, and I'm going to let you read it. It's not even a quote. It's kind of more paraphrasing, but I'll let you read it.
All right. Shaq explains his leadership philosophy as being 80% humor and 20% serious when running his business and leading teams.
Yeah, so there's a scene in the show where he's kind of like, he says that, and then you see him going around and he's having fun with his work, because he doesn't even really know all of them, but he's going around, he's just making jokes with them, and he explains that, like, he's very much a humor guy. And it spoke to me, because now I've been really focusing on leadership recently, since in the last year, since we've been building a bigger team. And I've always had this, like, kind of conflicting ideas in my head that it's kind of like a misconception that a great leader always has to be very serious. And for people to take you seriously and follow you, you kind of have to be a serious guy. And that's not my, like, nature, really. I'm more of I'm laid back. I like to joke around. And it just resonated with me that, like, you're going to be the best leader when you're most authentic to yourself, right? And if that's your style, and that is my style, like, when I'm hanging out with the team, I like to joke around. It doesn't matter who it is with, but there are times to be serious and a time, for me, and it's different for everyone. And I just like that it was a recent thing, and it just made me think, like, it's okay to be your own leader. Everyone is there's no cookie cutter leader. And I've heard about this in, like, in this founders podcast too. A lot of these founders, like you expect them to be like these very, very extroverted people. They run like massive businesses, and you find out they're not very well spoken. They don't have like some of the greatest, like these things that you think of when you think of a leader that's like, you know, got great speeches, inspires. It's not always like that. So everyone has a leader. I don't think there's like a cookie cutter type design for a leader, but there are certain things and certain like characteristics and different things that you can pull out of it. But it just reminded me to just be true to myself, and that I don't have to second guess or have this misconception that a leader has to be a certain way. So it really spoke to me like that. It was a recent thing, and I just enjoyed it, and I loved his leadership style. He went around, he made everyone feel very good, but he's very serious at the same time. He's very serious at he's very focused on getting Reebok back on the up and up. And it doesn't come from like he's trying to make money or anything. It's the challenge, you know. He could sit back and just enjoy retirement. He's all the money in the world, but it's the challenge, and he likes that. And I just was very inspired by that.
I like what you said about just being authentic. I've always appreciated the people, and there's a few that really stand out to me in my life. Like when I look back at maybe some of my earlier years, and recently I still have one person that I'm like, man, this guy nails it every time. But is the person authentic in every room of his life?
Yeah.
Like business, family, when he's just chilling with friends, the facade of like changing.
Well, that's someone you can trust, right?
Yeah, you're changing. Like I want to be the same guy that I am here at work coaching. I mean, maybe I have more intensity when I'm coaching, but with my kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I becoming some different person? So I really respect that he is, as you're explaining, bringing that authenticity to his team at work, and that's who he is, and that's how he's leading. There is no cookie cutter leadership style. I would say that according to that quote, though, it is really not changing and holding all these different facades in different rooms. Like it's really being who you are with your gifts and your talents and carrying that into the room.
And it's not that like in the past I've been shying away from trying to change and be someone else. It's just that belief that, like, am I like too jovial? Am I not going to be a good leader? Like, it's hard for me to be someone else. So I was always that person that was joking, but there was this like maybe a misconception that that's not effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I'm starting to change that. You know, no, you can be effective and still be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why.
How do you turn on the serious mode?
The serious mode is just, you know, I think that just depends on the situation, you know. When you know, when I'm passionate about something, I can get very serious. You know, when I was talking about the vision and how we're going to do it and how we're going to serve, and I'm talking to the coaches and stuff like that, it comes from a true, genuine place. The reason why we hired these people is because we believe this about you. Yeah. You know, and I want to convey that message. So it's just like, I don't know, it just comes in and out, you know.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
I really like that show. Very, very, very cool show.
What's it called again?
Power Moves. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq O'Neal, as Mike knows.
Shaq O'Neal. Nice, man. I love that. It's good stuff, man. It's good. It's good.
Okay, your last quote. It's a big quote.
This is huge. This has been the go-to quote for me since I can remember, and it's probably one a lot of people have heard. It's more of like a speech. But it was by Theodore Roosevelt, and he gave a speech called "The Man in the Arena." And I think on my first anniversary after being married, I think Kara printed out a print of this and framed it and gave it to me.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And I think I brought it here to put on the wall too. But it's impacted me tremendously, and it really has made a big difference in my life.
Let's go. Okay, I'm going to read it and then you tell me why. Okay, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives diligently, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat.
Whoa, man. Jeez. Still rings deep.
Why? Why does that mean
Even
so much
that
to me?
last line of the whole thing, I don't even know where to start. I still get chills listening to that because it means so much to me, and it motivates me and reminds me to jump in and don't let life pass you by sitting back and being passive. I think being in the game, being in the arena, whether you're confident or not, whether you're ready or not, whether there's so many reasons why you would not want to be, but you step into the arena because that's where you know you're supposed to be. Every arena in life, whether it's, I'd be personal, whether it's your journey of fatherhood, get in the arena, figure it out, figure out what your son and your daughter like, jump into the arena of being a dad, and don't let these moments pass you by. Understand your kids. And I don't even know how to be a dad half the time, but I'm learning, and I'm in the arena and I want to learn. And I'm okay with failing, and I'm okay with making mistakes, and apologize to my kids when, hey, listen, daddy messed up here. I'm sorry for yelling, whatever, but I'm in the arena. Because when that time passes, I don't want to look back and be like, I was timid, I was passive, I'm in the trenches because I want to be. That's where life happens, man. And a lot of that comes from my faith, is having the confidence and the understanding that this is where I need to be. Like, God is with me. I'm in the arena of life. I'm right here. And I think the part that motivated me the most and still motivates me is understanding that there's a difference between being in the arena and sitting watching the people in the arena.
100%.
And this is huge because I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've been in a lot of gyms. I've been in a lot of different settings in school. And there are more probably people out there that are going to watch and maybe make fun and poke and be like, what is this guy doing? This is stupid. He's never going to make it, whatever it is. So for me, that's just the motivation that I need to understand that it happens in the arena. And it's okay for people to make fun of you. It's okay for people to be like, this guy's never going to make it. It's okay for them to be very confused by what you're doing or misunderstood because you're in the arena.
I find that the people that are, you never get made fun of by the people in the arena that are with you or trying, or they're the type of people that be in the arena. They never make fun of you because they know this. They know it takes, that's where growth happens. It's always the people outside the arena that are kind of willing to talk crap and stuff like that.
100%.
And I think this is where growth, this is where all your growth happens, whether you victory or defeat. This is where you become new and you start to change. And even in a loss, you learn so much. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the last line of it is, if you're not in the arena, you're never going to know victory or defeat. It's like, jump in, man, and you might be victorious and you might be defeated. But at least you're going to know what that experience means.
100%. And in defeat, it's not, there's stuff to be learned in defeat.
Oh, big time.
I heard Jordan Peterson, he had like a scientific way of explaining, like, I guess for me, like going in the arena means something. For me, it's stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something you're not comfortable with, or that you're new to you don't know what's going to happen. There's like uncertainty.
Yeah.
And he says something like, I'm going to butcher it, but he says something like, when you put yourself in these new situations, it unlocks like new DNA for you. And you actually start to change like on the biological level because it unlocks stuff because you're doing things that you don't. It's like adaptation with working out, right?
Right.
You're being put in a new situation, whether victory or defeat, you're going to come out the arena different, And then you're a new creation because you went through it. But if you're constantly just sitting there and not doing anything or not putting yourself in that situation where your environment changes, kind of going to stay the same.
Yeah. This quote, how much time do we have left?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. This quote has meant a lot to me. honestly, like I'm sitting here and listening to you, man, I'm like emotional because it brings up a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's not just wordplay.
Yeah. No.
Like being in the arena and taking shots and knowing what defeat feels like, and knowing what victory feels like too along the way, and wanting to go back in the arena regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
Has been so awesome. It's been amazing, and I think we're in the arena right now, bro.
Cool.
I think we're right in the smack middle of the Coliseum, bro. Lions are coming out. There's battles left, right, and center.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
But the more you get in the arena, the more you do it. It's like what I was talking about, the belief and the experience. The more you get in the arena, the more comfortable you are with that feeling, and the more it builds your confidence that you can get into any arena.
That's
I've
right.
I've seen it in coaching with other, like our team and stuff like that. I've seen like coaches like start off and just talking about experience and confidence and stuff like that, and they go in and they're coaching and they're maybe not confident, and then they get put into a situation where it's a lot harder, more people, maybe something doesn't go right. And this happened the other week, and I was telling this coach, it's like, now you have this confidence built. Like you've been in the arena when it's extremely hard. Now going in and just doing a class like a normal class, you have that confidence that you can handle anything. So it just builds your confidence way up. And that's what getting in the arena does. It just builds your confidence up, and you just start to believe in yourself and change.
The last thought I'm going to have, just kind of building on this before the podcast ends, is like, if you're listening to this podcast, I would encourage you, as you're going through the moments in the arena and you're facing challenges, it's not going to be particularly fun.
No.
And to work through it and just stay the course. Stay the course. Just stay in it. And for me, in my life, that's where I've experienced the greatest moments of life with God. I've experienced moments where God intervenes, and I find peace and comfort in working with Him and walking through a situation. It's not perfect. It's not always fun, but you come out the other side, like you're saying, different. You have that now. You move forward, and that's life, man.
Sometimes you can't feel it in the moment, but you look back and you're like,
yeah,
what the heck happened? How did I get out of this? How did I,
New perspectives and understanding is really powerful when you have new perspective about something.
Absolutely.
It's good. It was a bit more of a serious podcast today, but some cool things I think we talked about.
100%.
You were on fire today, bro.
Oh, thank you, man.
Good
You
job.
too. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you on the next one. All right.
Peace.